This season, the struggles of certain players have been heavily televised and publicized. Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, Alejandro Garnacho, Matheus Cunha, Mohammed Salah, these are some players who have been heavily criticized for their performances this season, but there are some other players nobody seems to be paying much attention to. Well, we're here to shed light on those ones today. These are 10 players who are quietly having a bad season. We'll start with Bukayo Saka. He is easily one of the best players in the Premier League, no doubt, but he has really been struggling this season, and it has really gone under the radar because Arsenal are having a great time. Perhaps he's still not fully fit after having suffered a minor hamstring issue earlier in the season, but he just hasn't been his usual self so far. Even Arsenal fans are beginning to notice and complain. The winger has scored just one non-penalty goal in the Premier League this season and has no assist yet. In fact, this drought stretches all the way back to last season. He's currently on a run of 21 games with no Premier League assist, and he has just one non-penalty goal in his last 16 league appearances. That's not very impressive. But Saka has been good for so long, so everyone seems pretty confident that he'll bounce back soon. There's one more English winger on this list. Can you guess who it is? Take a shot at it in the comments. We'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, make sure to keep subscribing to Goal 90 Extra so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, let's talk about Ivica Kvaratskhelia. This is another top player. But this season he has been rather underwhelming, especially in the league. He has played 9 League One games so far this season and he still hasn't found the back of the net. That's surely not what you want to be hearing about your €70 million player. Kvara is a quality player, no doubt, but he needs to start finding the back of the net once again. That's one of the major things he was brought in to do. Another winger who belongs on this list is Nico Williams. After the first game of the season where he was directly involved in all Athletics goals in the 3-2 win against Sevilla, Nico has failed to do anything of note this season, whether in the league or in the Champions League. After the first game of the season, he failed to score or assist in his next 7 appearances. His bad form might be down to his injury woes, but it's surely not looking good for the man who just signed a new deal with his boyhood club. In fact, Barcelona and Arsenal fans have been rather thankful that they didn't get Nico Williams last summer, as their left-wing options have been doing far better than the Spaniards so far this season. Up next, let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The Englishman has really been struggling this season. Leeds brought him in hoping he'd use his Premier League experience to help them stay up this season, but the former Everton man has scored just 1 goal in 9 appearances since joining. But it's not just that he has only scored 1 goal, he has also been missing chances. He's 3rd for most big chances missed in the Premier League this season. And you know what makes that worse? He's the only player in the top 10 who has scored just 1 goal or less this season. So it's not even that his teammates don't create enough. Chances are being created for him, but he has just not been converting. That's not good enough. He needs to buckle down and start helping the team out. There's another English striker, but just before we talk about him, let's talk about the other English winger on the list. It's Anthony Gordon. This might sound crazy considering he is one of the top scorers in the Champions League right now, but with context you'd see that he actually does belong on this list. First of all, half of his Champions League goals have come from the penalty spot, and then everywhere else he has been unable to score or assist. That's 9 games in the league and cup without a single goal or assist. And oh, he also picked up a red card in a huge game against Liverpool, forcing his team to play a whole half with 10 men. What's worse is that Gordon's poor Premier League form didn't just begin this season. In fact, he has not scored or assisted in the Premier League since January. Guys, it's November. For context, he has more red cards than goals in the Premier League since February. That's just atrocious for a winger and he needs to fix up ASAP. It's great that he's doing okay in the Champions League, but he also needs to translate that form to the league and help Newcastle get out of the bottom half of the table. And we can't do this video without talking about his teammate Anthony Elanga. This dude was bought for over €60 million this summer, but he's yet to score or assist after 10 games in the Premier League. In fact, in his first 15 games across all competitions for Newcastle, all he has managed is 1 assist. That's surely not why the club spent that much money on him. Elanga was brought in to replace Jacob Murphy, but he has been so bad that the coach has restored Murphy to the starting lineup. And guess what? Murphy already has 3 goal involvements in 6 starts. Elanga has been more than disappointing. Now, the other English striker on this list is Ollie Watkins. The Aston Villa man has scored just 1 goal in 14 appearances this season, and that's just abysmal. For context, Matty Cash, a right-back, has scored more goals for Aston Villa this season than Watkins, the striker. Perhaps what he needs is some competition. He had fierce competition last season with John Duran and Marcus Rashford at the club at different points in the season, and that seemed to make Watkins sharper. But this season, with no real competition for the centre-forward spot, he has just been very disappointing. Let us now talk about a defender, Trevoh Chalobah. He has scored 2 goals for Chelsea this season, so that has blinded a lot of people, but this is why defenders should never be judged by the number of goals they score, because the Englishman is quietly having a bad season. He picked up a red card against Brighton and was partly responsible for Chelsea's loss in that game. He was also responsible for Sunderland's winning goal. Altogether, his defending has not been up to par, and a few Chelsea fans have been complaining. Now, the last name on this list might shock you, but before we get to that, let's first talk about Xavi Simons. Spurs spent €65 million on him in the summer and thought they had done great business snatching him from Chelsea and getting him instead of Ease. Of course, he might still come good later in his Spurs career, but so far, he's having a bad season. In his first 12 games for the club, he managed just 1 assist. Things have gotten so bad that he was substituted in and substituted out in the derby against Chelsea. That's one of the biggest embarrassments a professional footballer can ever be subjected to. Spurs fans are growing more and more frustrated with him, as many say they don't know what exactly he does on the pitch. You can try to explain it away by saying that the coach has not been using him regularly in his preferred 10 position, but the truth is that when you were bought for that sort of amount, you just need to be doing much better than Simons is currently doing. Finally, let's talk about Bruno Fernandes. This might sound crazy to some people, especially with United now experiencing an upturn in form, but Bruno is very quietly having a bad season, especially for his standards, and the biggest evidence that buttresses this is that he has missed 2 penalties this season. The Portuguese is usually a penalty specialist, so if he has missed 2 of his 3 spot kicks this season, you know, something is off. His penalty misses against Brentford and Fulham cost United some massive points. If he had converted them like he usually does, United would have been second on the Premier League table right now. Yeah, just think about that for a second. But well, for many United fans, his assist for the winning goal against Liverpool wiped his slate clean, so let's hope he continues to build from there and doesn't miss any more penalties. Now, are there more players you'd say are quietly having a bad season? Drop their names in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.